Donald Trump is literally destroying the existing White House to build his $250 million ballroom that he promised us was not going to interfere with the historic old structure. This is what they're doing today. They're literally destroying the White House to build his stupid ballroom. The ballroom's going to be equal to the size of the White House that already exists. That's how gaudy and hideous this is going to be. It's going to double the size of the White House. Let me read you the quote from Trump. "It won't interfere with the current building. It'll be near it but not touching it, and pays total respect to the existing building, which I'm the biggest fan of. It's my favorite. It's my favorite place. I love it." He's tearing it down, guys. This part of the White House, the East Wing, has been around since 1902, traditionally used by first ladies. That's a good 123 years, guys. 123 years of American history that this guy has just destroyed because no one has the backbone to stand up to him and say, stop. It's also a metaphor for our entire country, what he's doing today. He's tearing it down bit by bit, and nobody is saying no.
We have some breaking news right now. The entire White House East Wing looks like this. It's officially been demolished. This is an image obtained from the Associated Press. And as you can see, the entire East Wing completely gone. Remember, Donald Trump previously claimed that he would not disrupt the original structure of the White House because he liked the original structure of the White House. But to build his ballroom, it required tearing down the entire East Wing of the White House, and it is gone. Now, the White House doesn't want you to see this image because it actually shielded reporters from seeing this, but the Associated Press was able to grab this still of the White House in its current form. That's the main White House building. On the other side is the West Wing. The entire East Wing section, gone, destroyed, demolished, all because of Donald Trump's vanity project for this ballroom. I'll continue providing you updates, so spread the word. Full updates on my Substack, linked in bio. Subscribe for free. Follow along for all the news that you need to know about more to come.
Hi guys, my name is Messi and welcome back to the channel. So now, Trump is actually demolishing the White House, the people's house, to build his own ballroom. A ballroom? This right here is the peak of arrogance and disrespect. This man isn't trying to lead a country. He's trying to build a kingdom for himself. The White House stands for democracy, for history, for every president who served the people. And Trump is tearing it down like it's just another one of his hotels. This is exactly how he's always been. He doesn't care about America. He doesn't care about his name. This is exactly who he's always been. He doesn't care about America. He doesn't care about his name, his brand, his ego. He wants to erase the past so he can write his own version where he's only the one who matters. This is exactly who he's always been. He doesn't care about America. He cares about his name, his brand, his ego. He wants to erase the past so he can write his own version of it, where he is the only one who matters. Building a ballroom on the ashes of the White House isn't just construction, it is destruction. It erases the symbols of the people's power to replace it with his stage. And think about it, the same man who claims to serve America is literally destroying the house that represents it. How twisted is that? He's turning democracy into decoration, history into luxury, and leadership into a photo op. This is not patriotism. This is narcissism on full display. So guys, I want you to see people's reaction on these videos. We'll come back to talk about it. If you are new to this my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel just to help the channel out.
Well, there you have it. Donald Trump demolished part of the White House today. And can we just say that this is entirely symbolic of everything that this administration is doing to this country? Donald Trump is building a ballroom for $250 million during a government shutdown when people are not being paid and 23 million Americans are waiting to find out whether or not they're going to be able to afford their health care. He's building a $250 million ballroom that nobody wants. He promised it would not disturb one nail on the original structure of the White House. And look at this. Look at this. This is a perfect metaphor for Donald Trump himself. He gets into our government and he destroys things. And that is all he knows how to do. Remember Lyndon Johnson saying anybody can tear down a barn, but it takes a carpenter to build one? This is Donald Trump tearing down not just a barn, but the White House. And not just the White House, but our institutions, our courts, our administrations, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, tearing down things that have cared for Americans sometimes for 50 years. This is what he does. He is a person who tears down after he's promised not to. Donald Trump respects nothing. He grabs anything he wants by the you-know-what. This is what he's doing to our entire country right now. And those of you who still can't see it, just wait. Next thing you know, something you care about so deeply will be gone just like this, and it can never be replaced.
So while millions of Americans are struggling to pay rent during one of the longest government shutdowns in history, Donald Trump has decided his top priority is tearing apart the White House and building himself a ballroom. No, not a school, not a hospital, not a plan to fix housing or health care, a ballroom, which is a 90,000 square foot monument to vanity, nearly twice the size of the White House residence itself. Now, according to New York Times and ABC News, Trump has already begun demolishing the East Wing, the historic section that once housed the First Lady's office and the White House military office. The East Wing, part of America's heritage, is being gutted to make room for what he calls a modern addition. The cost? $250 million. The timing is right in the middle of a shutdown that he caused. So Trump and his donors claim that they are footing the bill. But preservation experts are furious. The White House hasn't even submitted full plans for federal review, which means the project violates the usual process required for changes to protected historic buildings. Former First Lady Hillary Clinton and the National Trust for Historic Preservation have demanded that the demolition stop until public review can happen. But Trump doesn't do review. He doesn't do accountability. He does whatever he wants and dares anyone to stop him. And the symbolism is chilling. Because while federal workers go unpaid and disabled students face losing education funding, Trump is bulldozing a piece of American history to build a ballroom for his elite donors and foreign guests. He calls it modernization, but what it really is a message that Trump is remaking the people's house into his house, a palace for a self-proclaimed king. When he said he was going to drain the swamp, he didn't mean corruption. He means replacing the swamp with a chandelier.
Donald Trump is literally destroying the existing White House to build his $250 million ballroom that he promised us was not going to interfere with the historic old structure. This is what they're doing today. They're literally destroying the White House to build his stupid ballroom. The ballroom's going to be equal to the size of the White House that already exists. That's how gaudy and hideous this is going to be. It's going to double the size of the White House. Let me read you the quote from Trump. It won't interfere with the current building. It'll be near it, but not touching it, and pays total respect to the existing building, which I'm the biggest fan of. It's my favorite. It's my favorite place. I love it. He's tearing it down, guys. This part of the White House, the East Wing, has been around since 1902, traditionally used by first ladies. That's a good 123 years, guys. 123 years of American history that this guy has just destroyed because no one has the backbone to stand up to him and say, stop. It's also a metaphor for our entire country, what he's doing today. He's tearing it down bit by bit, and nobody is saying no.
The first thing that came to mind was that this is a metaphor for what's going on in our country. He is tearing down the house. He is tearing down the people's house. He's an annihilist. And I think, you know, he does seem to think that it's his house, that he is a king. And that's,
don't know.
No, and I mean, just over the weekend, you have 7 million people telling him that's not your house. You are not a king. Did you not hear that?
I never thought I'd see the day when Donald Trump could just decide he wanted to renovate the White House and tear down a piece of the White House. This is from the New York Post. It's a picture of the East Wing of the White House, which is being demolished so that Donald Trump can build his beautiful new ballroom. And I think this is where the Rose Garden is actually attached to the White House. So can you imagine all of those historical events that happened in the Rose Garden, all of those press conferences that happened in the Rose Garden, and now it's gone. Now it's a bulldozer tearing down the walls of the White House. This is like a historical building. And I'm surprised that more Americans aren't like outraged over seeing something like this. Do you think they'd put up like a big curtain so you couldn't see the construction site? Because it's all gone now. Look at that. and he wants to build this ballroom for like an event space, and that's all. Like, I don't think people really realize the scope of what's happening. That this historic building that the government is in is now being revamped because of one person's whims. So, what are you gonna do? You know? I know it's really kind of like shocking and everything, but like, you remember how and who made the White House, right? Who built it? So it's just kind of like, I can't believe this man is doing this. But you know what? You voted for him. You chose him. You put him in that White House. And now he has the power to do that. So you don't feel too sorry. You put him there and he wants to do it. So you gave him the power to do that.
The East Wing of the White House is gone. It looks like a scene out of 9/11. This was actually yesterday. Today, it's literally gone. Yesterday was 9/11. Today, just gone. Trump lied. Trump said he wasn't going to touch the White House, his new construction for his grand ballroom, that, by the way, is now costing $300 million, right? Our military isn't even going to get paid because of the shutdown. Our farmers are suffering because of Trump's tariffs. He's not going to give them money either. But he found $300 million for a ballroom. He also found $40 billion for his friends in Argentina. He also found $230 million for himself. Did you hear that one? Trump is demanding U.S. Treasury give him $230 million from your pocket and my pocket. U.S. tax money he wants to compensate him for all the investigations. Yeah, you were investigated because you're a crook, buddy. Maybe we should be compensated for the investigation. Why the hell did we have to spend money investigating you? Maybe you shouldn't have committed as many crimes as you did. White House claims, we're the most transparent administration in history what he did with this. No, he didn't. He just released the donors today because he refused before. And by the way, still didn't say how much money they're giving. Oh, and he claims he's giving money too, but he won't say how much. Yeah, he's not giving a dime.
I am freaking furious. I can barely contain my anger over this. The New York Times is now reporting that not only is Donald Trump demolishing part of the East Wing, they're now actually saying that they are going to demolish the entire East Wing of the White House. No approval by Congress, no approval by the elected representatives of the people. He is just taking it upon himself to destroy, completely obliterate part of the White House. That house does not belong to him. He is a temporary resident of that building. He has no right to demolish anything. This alone, could you just imagine if any other president, I'm so sick of saying that, but it's true, any other president doing anything like this. If this were normal times and a president just demolished the entire East Wing of the White House without any congressional authorization, he would be impeached and removed from office. No doubt about it. Completely destroying an entire section of the White House. I am so fucking angry.
Do you think that wrecking ball is negatively impacting the East Wing? I'm just asking for a friend. Because that National Historic Preservation Act requires federal agencies to take into account the impacts that their actions will have on historic places. What a shock to learn that Trump didn't care about the law or the cost now that it's running about $100 million more, or about filing plans for the new building before tearing down the existing historic structure. And I'm sure it was a last-minute decision to decide to demolish the East Wing because, as Trump said, it was never thought of as much. Which is so bizarre because just in July he said it won't interfere with the current building, it'll be near it but not touching it, and pays total respect to the existing building, which I am the biggest fan of. Oh, and the National Trust has asked the administration to halt construction so they can go through the legally required public review process, which is a little bit difficult right now because most federal agencies aren't working because of Trump's government shutdown. Before you say that Nobel Peace Prize winner Barack Obama also modified the White House, he repainted some lines on a tennis court. He didn't tear down part of the buildings.
Mr. Trump, I'm your supporter, but I gotta ask you this question. What the fuck are you doing giving $40 billion to your buddy in Argentina? And you haven't even given the Americans any money yet.
That's a good question, sir, and I understand your frustration. He went on to say, I got stimulus checks from Obama And Biden and Clinton, I didn't get anything from you. What's going on? And remember, sir, we're in a government shutdown right now. TSA workers, air traffic controllers not getting paid, lines getting longer at the airports. They're even trying to weasel out of paying them back pay when this all gets figured out. But don't worry, he is taking steps to make things better. He started something today that I'm sure is going to improve your life drastically. Yeah, he started demolishing part of the White House. They're doing demolition on the White House to make room for his grand ballroom that he wants to build to the tune of, wait for it, $250 million. Government shutdown is still currently happening, but they're tearing apart the White House, which goes against what he claimed he would do back in July when he said, I won't interfere with the current building. It'll be near it, but not touching it, and pays total respect to the existing building, which I'm the biggest fan of. Destroying portions of a historic landmark to build some god-awful Mar-a-Lago-esque ballroom for $250 million paid by the American taxpayer. But you don't have a stimulus check, and people who work for the federal government aren't getting paid, and Argentina's getting $40 billion. Is this what you voted for? Hey, Meg, is this what any of you voted for? Are we great again yet? Are we?
So, when people say Trump is for the people, look at this. He's not building for us. He's building for himself. The White House used to belong to the people. But now, under Trump, it's becoming a ballroom for billionaires, a monument to one man's ego. America deserves better than this kind of selfishness disguised as power.